Smack Media. Actually, it's good that you take this time. I give you a few minutes. Let me just give him few minutes. Let me give them few minutes to subscribe.
Yes.
And as I give you a count, in the count of 1, 2, 3, subscribe to Smack Media and share the content. As you watch, you get the best content in the 254. This is Smack Media, and I'm with Dr. Chris. Maybe it's good that you introduce to our viewers.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm Chris Maliongovi.
Yes.
We are here at on the terraces of Luna Park.
Yes.
It used to be originally Mwamba Rugby.
Okay.
This is where the men of muscle used to come and sort it out among themselves, and it used to be fun. We used to come sometimes here to watch the games.
Okay.
So it used to be fun actually, and it's now under construction. I think they were doing some constructions and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, but it used to be a good rugby place. Yeah, we used to watch rugby here and see how things how things move. Sometimes they said that you see rugby is watched by ruffians and is watched by hooligans, yeah, and played by ruffians.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how it used to be. Yeah.
Maybe just to ask you, do you know the reason why we have decided to do it here today? And do you understand the reason why we have decided to do an interview here at Luna at the park here?
I think people on the terraces, people on the terraces actually.
Okay.
Yeah, things are trying to move now, and the country is trying to shape up.
Yes.
Things are trying to move on.
Yeah.
But when such things are in such a mood, you realize that most of the people wait to see exactly what is going on and see what turns out.
Okay.
And in most cases, it's just that we are still on the terraces. Yeah, we're just watching.
Yes, the rugby field is located at the CBD, and today actually this is Nairobi City County, and it's good that we discuss issues affecting Nairobi City County. And now that there are many complaints of actually citizens who are doing business in this town, and many are complaining, the businessmen are complaining about the step that the governor is taking, that the governor is now becoming a dictator. Is it true that according to you, maybe according to the way that you understand Governor Sakaja, is he really becoming a dictator?
I wouldn't call him a dictator really.
Okay.
I wouldn't call him a dictator really, but I think there were so many things that were messy.
Okay.
There were so many things that were messy. So he's trying to organize things and try to improve things, yeah?
Yeah.
Things used to be not so orderly.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think there was some sort of no order. As much as NMS was working, yeah?
Yeah.
There were some issues that needed to be put in place, yeah?
Yeah.
So I can say that in my opinion, he's trying to create some order. He's trying to create some order, and there is nothing wrong with being a little bit strict, yeah?
Yes.
Only that the strictness should have limits, yeah? You shouldn't harass the very taxpayers that you are supposed to serve. So there was a lot of chaos, yeah? There was a lot of littering. There was a lot of noise. Noise is bad.
Yeah.
Only that, you have to do it with limitations, yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, you have to do it with limitations. There are things you cannot do. For instance, you cannot harass the people, especially the owners of bars and pubs, yeah?
Yeah.
Because you need revenue from them. If you do that, they'll go to other counties that are a bit friendly. Because if you put so many bylaws that are prohibitive, you find that people will run to other counties which are neighboring here: Kiambu, Machakos, Kajiado. So people will move to other counties, especially if they find that the environment of doing business is a bit hostile.
Okay.
So yeah, that's my check. Yeah.
Then we have the hawkers. Actually, many hawkers are now complaining that actually the governor had promised them a lot, and he promised that no hawker will be harassed in the city. But now we are seeing things have changed. So maybe what is your take on it?
Hawkers should not be harassed actually.
Okay.
in my opinion, if you've not created for them an alternative job,
Yes.
you don't harass them, because people are trying to just earn a living, and it's a hard times. These are hard times. There were these corona chaos, economy is trying to pick up, and so things are so chaotic, yeah. And then a lot of money was wasted during that period of the handshake. There was no money in circulation. It was in the hands of a few, and so on. So people are trying to create a living, earn a living from cramps, yeah. So it's not right. It's not right to arrest them. However, they should also be orderly. You cannot have these people. Some of them have even occupied roads, real roads, thoroughfares.
Okay.
They have occupied thoroughfares. You it's not right. Motorists want to use the road, so you cannot block a road. What these guys have done is that they have even blocked roads. It's chaotic. I wish you could move to some of these roads here. So we can tell our brothers, because we want them to do business.
Yeah.
I'm a rights defender. They should do business. It's their right to do business. But it's a balance. It's a balancing thing. Let them balance on how they're going to operate. Because they're not going to take charge. They're not going to cause chaos all over. Because they're actually occupying roads. It's so chaotic, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, there is somebody here who has, I'll not disclose his name, that he has sent actually a message here asking that his cousin was hawking and he was selling groundnuts in the city. Then the kind of hawking that he was doing was just moving from one place to another, because groundnuts actually somebody cannot identify it from a far distance. So he had to move from one place to another, selling it to those who are driving and what have you. So, and he said that his cousin has been arrested and is now in jail, and is serving a 8-term jail sentence. So what is your take on that, and what should the government do to ensure that such like people are put into consideration?
They shouldn't be so high-handed, eh?
Okay.
Arresting someone and charging him or having them sentenced to 8 months is not right.
Okay.
Hawking is a bit a tricky thing, as I've mentioned before.
Yeah.
But let them be allowed to do their hawking. I think they can look for times and then places where they can hawk.
Yeah.
And then an orderly way of doing it, because some of these bylaws that we are talking about they've been there over the years. So it's not a thing you can actually blame it on Sakaja. I've not looked at the way he's doing his work. I've not so much dug deep into the way his modalities of doing things and so on.
Okay.
But some of these bylaws have been there for decades. So when you break them, it's not so much about Sakaja,
Yeah.
or whoever governor that will come. But what I can say is that they shouldn't be so high-handed.
Okay.
They shouldn't attack so much. Let these people find ways of how to balance the whole thing so that people can survive. Man can live, let others live and let others live. So in my opinion, I would say that that sentence is too harsh. And even the arrest itself is so disturbing and so on.
Okay.
But we can find a balance, eh? You can strike a balance,
Yeah.
between ensuring that the bylaws,
Yeah.
the bylaws are observed, but the hawkers also can survive. The bylaws have been there for many years. Some of these bylaws are actually even colonial. During colonial times,
Yeah.
some of these bylaws have been there, only that they have not been observed.
Okay.
So I think that the governor will look for a way to create a balance
Yes.
between enforcing the law, and while enforcing the law, you also look into ways of how you can ensure that people can also eat. You get the point?
I get the point.
Yes.
Then now many are saying that the act that the governor has taken, that it will haunt him in the next election. So will it have a negative impact towards his political life?
That's a very political life.
Yes.
The prime minister, I think it was the prime minister of Trinidad and Tobago or something, was asked by the Queen Elizabeth, whether he will attend the year 2000 AGM. And, he said that, conscious of the vicissitudes of political life and the fickle nature of the electorate, I have a look forward to attending the year 2000 AGM. I can say that I wanted to quote those words because political life has its own the political life has its own ups and downs, and there are vicissitudes that come. So I cannot predict really what will. But Nairobi is a very funny county. It's the only one where governors serve one term, and when you go, you totally go. I mean, you can't revive yourself. However much you try to revive yourself, you find that you've waned. So it wears you down. He could have his things right, and if he has them right, he'll come back as a governor. But if he doesn't, then he might be a one-term governor. But that's not for us to decide now. Okay. Well, let us give him the benefit of the doubt. Let him work. Okay. And let him get the support that he needs. That is what we expect out of the electorate. But I know many people are bitter, and they are waiting for him on the ballot in 2022, 27. Yeah. But it's also not for one person to decide. Just because you're bitter, that's not one person to decide as to who will become the governor after 2027.
Thank you, Mr. Chris.
Thank you.
And maybe as we wrap up the interview, I would like you to tell one word to the governor, because now that is the one that is being attacked by many residents here in Nairobi. Maybe it's good that you just give him a word, say a word to him, and I know that he'll watch this this media, and the information will reach unto him.
I want to say that first of all, we want to congratulate him for having won an election. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy to win an election. Two, he should just find a balance. See how to live with the people. You don't shroud yourself so much. You don't hide yourself so much in the background of so many big people and forget where you came from. Because that it creates a detachment. Yeah, you get detached from the very electorate that voted for you, and we wish him the very best. 5 years is a long period in politics. Yes. It's a very, very long period, and it can be so grueling, so taxing, so damaging. So let him just find a means of how to live with the people and achieve his political objectives. Because politics is always like these terraces as we were climbing. It's always from one stage to another. Yeah. And you might find yourself, instead of climbing this, you find yourself moving more down towards the downwards of the staircase. Yeah. So he should balance, and I think things will work out for him well.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, sir, for having time with us. Yes. And this is Mark Media. Ensure that you subscribe and share our content, because we are determined to give you the best content in the 254. Actually, I'm privileged and I'm happy to have one of the best camera personnel, none other than Tony Bryan. And I'm your presenter, Davis Karani. Subscribe and share the content.